What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's get a little spicy. So, if you watch my reviews, you know that normally before we get in to the reviews, we get a little spicy and talk about the things that I've seen all across the blogs and on my timeline. Well, I had a lot of things saved as it pertains to Real Housewives of Miami and decided to do a standalone video. So, let's get into the mess and let's get a little spicy. All right, y'all. So, first up, let's talk about Lisa. So, there were two tweets that I saw her tweet out that I found interesting that I want to talk about. So, the first one is this one: Larsa trying to turn the group against me, hashtag RHOM. And then the other tweet was this one: so, some talk behind my back on a national TV show. I see it for the first time with everyone else, and when I react online, it's an issue. Double standards, good night, hashtag RHOM. So, I don't know who she was referring to. I was wondering whether or not maybe somebody on the cast was messaging her, or if a lot of people were like, she was doing too much. But let's talk about the first tweet where she said, Larsa trying to turn the group against me, hashtag RHOM. Here's the thing. I don't think Larsa is turning the group against Lisa. I think Larsa is very vocal, even though she's very brash and very blunt with her opinion and oftentimes nasty with it. She is saying how she truly feels. I think the women are agreeing with her to a certain extent because they're kind of tired of Lisa too. And don't get me wrong, I do think the women were being assholes last episode where everyone could tell that Lisa was moving frantically and she was getting worked up because she needed to find a notary, and Lenny pulled a snake move on her because he knew she was out of the country. But I also agree with what Larsa said. She's always going through something. And honestly, nobody wants to be friends with somebody that's always in a state of crisis. It gets draining at some point because it's like, dang, girl, like, can you not do something yourself? And I also feel like this group, especially the OGs, so Alexia, Adriana, Larsa, and Marisol, coddle Lisa. And I think they're tired of doing that. I also think production is tired of Lisa to a certain extent, because to me, for them to show that clip of her being 2 hours late and them wondering where Lisa's ETA is for the confessional is them letting it be known that, girl, we're sick of you always being late too. Like, it's not cute. So I think what's happening is everyone's kind of at their limit with her, and I think she perceives it as the group turning on her, but I think everyone's just tired. And unfortunately, it's all happening at the same time. Now, her other tweet that goes, some talk behind my back on national TV show. I see it for the first time with everyone else, and when I react online, it's an issue. Double standards, good night, hashtag RHOM. Now, I do feel like Lisa has a right to speak her mind and say her piece, but I've told y'all this before. It's been very interesting watching Julia and Lisa be online, because in previous seasons, I do not remember them tweeting out so much or interacting with the fans as much as they're doing right now. And I was like, I'm not sure if somebody on the cast is telling her she's doing too much or if it's the fan base, because right now I've been seeing a lot of people going up for Lisa. So I wonder if it's somebody that's around her that's telling her, like, girl, you doing a lot. Okay. I already told y'all, I feel like sometimes when you are constantly online after every show, it feels like you're protesting too much because you feel like you look bad. Other times you are defending yourself. But to see Lisa argue with one of my mutuals was actually kind of like, And mind you, this mutual is very respectful when he gives his opinion about the housewives. Even housewives he does not like, he speaks with a level of respect for them. Okay. And he was talking about the scene of her showing up to the dinner an hour late, and he gave his opinion. Lisa hopped down in the replies and, gave added context, but also was like, I'm not going to be disrespected. And he responded by saying, I understand how you feel, but my opinion still stands. And she kind of had an attitude about it. And I was like, okay, Lisa, maybe you do need to put the phone down, because even though you're giving added context, that does not mean that everybody's opinion about the situation is always going to change. For some people, it will. For others, they still, even with added context, will still feel like, yeah, girl, I get what you're saying, but I still feel like you was doing too much or you were being disrespectful. So I feel like maybe she need to put the phone down and just like let the season play out. And then when it comes time for after the reunion, because there'll definitely be interviews, maybe say her piece then. But arguing with people online isn't going to do you any favors. And it also doesn't help because, again, people feel how they feel, even sometimes when you give them added context. So, moving on, let's get into the Kiki versus Adriana situation. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Kiki and Adriana got into it on the latest episode, and Adriana called Kiki ratchet. Well, this was caught by All True Teas and is by way of Queens of Bravo. So they did a steal of the situation where Kiki tells Lisa about Adriana breaking the pinky promise that they made not to tell Larsa that she unfollowed Marcus. And then Adriana calling Kiki ratchet. And then Kiki saying, girl, I'm ratchet. And basically saying, girl, you're too old to be acting that way. So this is what Queens of Bravo posted. It says, Adriana says she meant wretched and says she already apologized to Kiki. So let's get into the comments, because people commented about this situation and they reposted the comments. So a person said this, humor me this, did she mean wretched? I'd already laughed so much this episode that I didn't have the strength to really get upset at that scene. Miami is top tier reality TV. They aren't hiring private investigators to destroy people's life like OC and Jersey. Just beautiful. Crazy chaos, and Guerdy's reaction elevates every scene. Love the Miami ladies, paychecks earned. So then Adriana replied to this person saying, I meant wretched. So then another person said, not Kiki and Adriana fighting, my faves, fix it now. And then Adriana responded to this person by saying, I didn't mean it and I apologized to her already. So then another person said, Adriana was wrong and I love her, but she's too smart to use that when referring to Kiki. And Julia is problematic. The person goes on to say, it's funny how ratchet extra us never used on certain cast members, but used to describe the only black ones, SMH. So then Adriana responded to this person by saying, I meant ratchet, but regardless, I shouldn't have used it. I said miserable right after because that was the meaning since she was acting unhappy all day. Honestly, I don't buy it, Adriana. I'm glad you apologized, but for you to always talk about how cultured and you are, a child of the world. We've seen you travel. You talk about how you speak 5 languages. If it really was a mistake, your reaction would not have been to double down on it and defend it. You'd have been like, well, I didn't mean that word. I meant wretched. And then you would have explained yourself. Then you wouldn't have activated the Karenism by them being mad that Kiki called you old and then tried to say she was ageist. Yeah, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And then when Julia said what she said about like Kiki's just overreacting, I was like, I see why you and Adriana was friends, because girl, I haven't forget the way that Adriana did Guerdy season 4, but y'all have, because she's in a clique with Guerdy now. But I remembers, the North remembers over here. Also, I am really disgusted with the way that the fans are reacting to this interaction. Like, I've seen a lot of people defending Adriana and being like, well, Kiki is ratchet. Kiki is this. She is that. Like, Kiki is low class. And it's been black people and non-black people and a lot of white people saying that. And it's like, wow. So we can point out microaggressions and, anti-blackness when it's the black girl you like, but the black girl you don't like, it doesn't matter. That to me weakens your argument for, advocating against anti-blackness, microaggressions and macroaggressions and just blatant racism, because If it affects one, it affects all. So I was just like, wow, like y'all are really caping for Adriana just because you don't like the way that Kiki has aligned herself with the other women, and you feel as though she has not done a great job or any job of helping defend Guerdy. Like, I'm really disappointed in a few of the accounts that I follow, especially because I saw repeated names, and some of them on Instagram and even on Twitter have good takes. But like with this Adriana and Kiki situation, I was like, wow, y'all really showed your slip in this situation. But I was interested in seeing how the girls would react to this situation in the after show. So let me play that clip for you guys. It is lengthy, but I'm gonna speed it up like I always do.
To enjoy a meal, because me encanta la comida en Sevilla, en España, in general.
Sí que es rico.
Certain women, I guess, it's probably the ones that don't like to eat, that want to ruin it up.
Oh, by the way, she decided she unfollowed Marcus in front of us.
Oh, wow.
Lisa, we made a promise we were not going to say anything. Adriana run her mouth.
It was not a big deal that Adriana said something. It wasn't like a huge secret. And I think what Adriana did was not wrong.
I was so giggly and happy about it. I kind of set it on the table.
Right, because we said we weren't going to
To
say it, and
her
then you say it.
before you got there. But
Yes.
I was just excited. I forgot about it.
That's true. Yeah, you split, and I was like, Adriana!
I do, however, think Kiki was like stirring the pot.
We made a pact. We wanted to be a surprise to Larsa.
Got it.
Everybody was looking at me like, Kiki, we know you always go back and tell. Do not tell Larsa.
Okay, fair enough. You know what Kiki could have done? She could have been like, cheers, great news.
Right.
Problem solved, let's fix the relationship. Instead, it just like turned into like a shit show.
It was like that. First of all, Kiki, stop being so ratchet.
And I'm like, who are you calling ratchet?
And I've heard a lot of low shit come out of her mouth, but that was a new low.
I was very shocked that out of every single word, she would call me ratchet.
I did not react because I didn't know the meaning of the word at all. Like, to me, in my kind of farm life language book, ratchet means a tool that you fix things with. I thought that it was like out of place, it was inappropriate. It
Yeah,
was
but that's unacceptable.
unacceptable, 100%. 100% unacceptable. I was in shock. I was just trying to diffuse things, and I was like, Kiki, like, it's not what she meant to say.
Adriana definitely knows what the word ratchet means.
I mean, she does go to Harvard.
Adriana knows lots of words. Adriana knows 5+ languages. And that's why I was like, what do you mean ratchet? This doesn't make sense. Like, what is she on the table doing this at brunch? Like twerking? Like, it don't make sense. So it didn't match. The word didn't match the person's behavior.
And you know my character.
Yes.
And you know what I meant by that word.
Yes, I do.
Now people are actually using it in a different way. Like, I'm so ratchet. Like, now it's more like a good thing.
Yeah.
But then it could be used the opposite way. Inappropriate is what ratchet means. It's like you're being ratchet, inappropriate in a setting where you're not supposed to do whatever you're
Well,
doing.
I meant
That's what
miserable.
Just a bad place, bad time, bad
Yeah.
person to say
Yeah.
it to.
She could have picked any other word. Like, I don't mind. I've been called everything in the book. But it's like, still, I think I'm classy. I know how to behave. Yeah, I make sex jokes. I imagine I'm putting like literally a mini dick in your mouth. Yes, I have fun. I pee on the beach. But I couldn't believe that she said that. Like, that was very serious for me. Like, what? Mm-hmm. When anybody say anything to me, I react. I'm always going to have a comeback. And then as a Gemini, you don't think. You like the next thing that comes to your mind.
You are too old to be talking like this to people.
That was kind of mean because Adriana is really sensitive about her age. I love her, but like, come on. She looks fabulous. She looks great. Get over it.
If this is old, then honey, I don't want to be right. Let's go.
You look better than a lot of people. So let's just leave that there.
There you go. I kind of understood what Kiki was telling her about, like, somebody at your age saying that word is like very inappropriate. It was so inappropriate in so many different ways and unacceptable.
Yeah, it was.
But I get what Kiki was trying to say. Like, I didn't expect that from you because, you know, you're like a different generation. You know, like, that's not a word of like choice. So if you're selecting that word, it was on purpose. It was to hurt me and it was to insult me.
Anyone that know me, they know I don't hold grudges. But when somebody says something to me, I have quick comeback. And then after that, I'll be the first one to apologize. Mm-hmm. And me calling her old was not like on my list. I'm going to call Adriana old. It just, oh, you ratchet. Oh, well, you old. Now we even.
To me, it was hurtful. It wasn't the first time she said it. She actually said it when we had the double yachts.
Okay.
She said it one night, like one night when everybody was just resting. Somebody was there, and she was talking to this person, and I came in just thinking we're gonna have a glass of wine, like at nightcap.
Okay.
And she was telling this person, "Oh my God, Adriana is so old, she's like as old as my mom."
What?
What qualifies as old?
But my mom is old.
How old is your mom?
My mom is 58. Yeah, because the thing is, people think it's age shaming. I was not age shaming Adriana.
I think Adriana turned 59, actually.
Oh, so.
Yeah.
But you know what? Okay, it doesn't matter how old anyone is, but the same people that she's so far up their ass is like the same age, honestly.
She's 2 years older than you
No,
and I.
she's a year and a half.
No, she's
No,
turning
babe.
60 in November, and we're
No,
both
she's not.
58. Yes, she is.
Oh, she is?
Yes, she is.
Oh, she
okay.
looks good.
Well, I find it rich, extremely rich, because Adriana
literally chased me around a yacht arguing for once.
Your bony knees, because they need it. Your wrinkled knees.
You're older than me, and what's wrong with you body shaming someone?
I'm learning now, sometimes people, they attack other people with certain things. That's because they're insecure about it. But why do it to someone when you don't want it to be done to you? So if I dish it, I can take it. That's how I see it.
I said to her, listen, but you called Marisol old and much, much, much worse than that. And then she was like, Marisol and I kind of the same age. We can talk like this to each other, but Kiki and I is different. It's kind of a twisted way
so
in
it's
Adriana's
okay
head.
For her to call someone else old, but listen, all I know, if you can...
The monstrosities she said to Marisol, I don't know, like Marisol is, my God, she's so strong to even not be able to even be in the same room with her after that.
I do want to add in that my outfit was absolutely fabulous that night.
It was. Yeah, it was fire.
It was fire.
Did you get...
All right, y'all. So I know that was long, but I wanted to play the clip in its entirety. So here's my thoughts about this. The only three people that I appreciate what they had to say was actually Marisol, Alexia, and Guerdy. At least when Guerdy was sitting amongst Lisa and Adriana, she was like, yeah, I was taken aback by what you said because ratchet means this, and that didn't correlate with what was happening in this moment. So I'm glad that she acknowledged that like the word didn't make sense and there was no reason for you to use it. I like the fact that Alexia pointed out that like I got what Kiki was saying when it came up to her calling her old. It's like, girl, that's not even your generation. Like you don't even use that word, so why are you calling me that? And I like the fact that Marisol pointed out it's rich that you're upset about somebody calling you old, but you had no problem saying that I had wrinkly knees and I'm an old whore. But when somebody younger than you calls you old, it's a problem. Maybe let's not call people old. But I was really turned off by Stephanie, Larsa, Julia, Lisa, and Adriana because one, Julia's sitting with Kiki. For you to sit there and lie to that lady's face, acting like you didn't know what was going on, yet you were so vocal to say, Kiki's just overreacting. Girl, shut up. And this is why I have an issue with her having them two black kids. Because if you could not understand that situation right there was very, like, it was pointed. That was a pointed word to use against that black lady. I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. And you're pussy for sitting there and not even owning your words that you said in the episode. I would give you some type of respect for you to just sit there and be like, well, yeah, I thought you were overreacting and then explaining yourself. But to sit there and just blatantly lie, ugh, girl. Then Stephanie's always telling somebody to get over something. Stephanie said that about Guerdy and the drink throwing. She said that to Alexia about getting over Todd. Now you're doing it with Kiki. But girl, you can't get over the fact that your sisters aren't speaking to you. You can't get over the fact that Alexia called you a chihuahua and she called you big-headed and said you were up Guerdy's ass. But you expect everybody else to get over everything? I want you to shut up. And then for Larsa to not be more vocal and be like, well, that was kind of harsh for Kiki to say because Adriana's very sensitive about her age. Well, Adriana better learn to choose better words and also stop going around calling other people old. Like what, Larsa? And Kiki's supposed to be your friend beyond this show. Then you have Adriana, and to me, she was sitting very like smugly in that seat being like, well, you guys know my heart. And you got Lisa kissing Adriana's ass being like, yes, we do. Then they get to the old comment. And then you got Guerdy hyping her up and Lisa being like, well, you look better than Mouse. I'm just going to leave it there. Like, it would be one thing if Adriana really was remorseful for making that misstep. That's why I don't believe that she meant wretched. I do believe she meant ratchet. I think Adriana was frustrated that Kiki was making a moment out of something that she felt probably was a simple mistake and her not trying to stir the pot, and she got frustrated because in my opinion, girl, if you really were remorseful about what you said, you would have been like, you know what, I didn't mean it that way and you guys know my heart, but I am sorry that she felt offended by that because that was not where I was coming from. I felt like she was being miserable all day or she looked sad all day, so I meant wretched. Like, miss me with people trying to explain away that word. It was pointed and Adriana knew what she was doing. And this is why I have the critique I have of the good girls, or the nice girls. And y'all have noticed because y'all have told me, which I don't mind difference of opinion from me. I'm going to keep mine. You can keep yours as long as you're respectful. That's all I asked, okay? But this is why I don't like that little group right there, because you can tell that it's not a group that genuinely formed because they wanted to be friends. It's a group that formed because they all lost the people in the group that they thought were their best friends, and they feel like they're the misfits of the larger group. Because Lisa was always with Larsa, Adriana was always with Julia, and Guerdy was always with Nicole. Nicole is honestly the only real friend Guerdy had in this group. Let's keep it a buck. But I feel like y'all have forgotten. Like I said, the North remembers the way that Adriana did Guerdy season 4 when they had that situation where Julia explained to us what happened to her oldest child, and Guerdy was trying to relate by bringing up her miscarriage. The way that Adriana spoke to Guerdy was unacceptable, and it was very mean, and it was very like she was mad aggressive, bro. Mad aggressive. Then I remember when Elisa last season, when everybody was tired of her, and she decided that she was going to raise her voice to the 10th degree and try to cuss out Kiki when they were in Mexico on that gondola ride. And we have yet to see Lisa yell at anybody. Even Lisa hasn't even yelled at Larsa this season the way she yelled at Kiki last season. So again, I feel like this group is a group of convenience, and I feel like Guerdy has one chance to really mess up with either Lisa or Adriana, and they're gonna drop her and find their way back into the group somehow. So that's just how I feel. I know y'all want them to take down the mean cougars, but I don't really see that happening. Okay. So the last thing we're going to talk about is Kiki and Guerdy. So Kiki has been going on a round of interviews, and she done rubbed the people the wrong way, child. Okay. So the first clip I'm going to play for you guys is an interview she did, I think, with the local news down in Miami. And the interviewer basically asked her, why did she unfollow Guerdy? Okay, so it's NBC New York is who she did the interview with, which is not Miami. But let me play that clip for you guys.
Reunion, right?
Yes, we did.
The reunion is always like a big to do, and Andy teased it as saying it was great. Great for Andy, I'm sure, but does that mean great for the girls?
I mean, it's always great for Andy because he's sitting there, he's the one asking all the tough questions.
That's what I mean.
But it was very chaotic. A lot of bombs were dropped. A lot of people didn't take accountabilities, but I feel like this whole reunion is going to be better than the whole season.
Really?
It's going to be our best reunion yet.
Oh, wow, I can't wait to watch that.
So you'll see.
Where do you stand with all the cast? Because fans were noticing that you and Guerdy unfollowed each other after this
Well,
reunion.
the thing is, just like, I'm always the one that get along with everyone. It takes a lot for me not to get along with someone. I'm still in a good place with all of the girls, and the only reason I unfollowed Guerdy because I feel like I was a good friend to her throughout the whole season. You're gonna see there's no problem. But then I feel like when that episode came out, she kind of went and see how the edit went, and also how the fans were reacting to it, and she went by that, and she kind of didn't even communicate with me. But I was like, wow, like, and then I just, enough is enough. Enough was enough. I said, you know what, I need a break. Sometimes I need a break.
Yeah, because you've got a family too, and a lot of changes at home. Your son is off left the nest. Your daughter's starting school.
Yes, I actually just dropped off my son off to college when Friday. He's starting his second year, and my daughter just started kindergarten on Thursday, so she thinks she's a big girl now.
Starting over.
Yes, so I'm like, I need time for myself, so now maybe I can go back and really start dating because now both of the kids are out.
So this clip was making its rounds, and people were not really happy with Kiki's response. I wish she would have just left it here and kept it at that, but then there was the Carlos King interview. So she did a Carlos King interview, which further made things worse. So let me play that clip for you guys.
When I came in and Guerdy came in, I was hoping that they could talk. And I sat down, and between them, as you can see, hoping that everything will go the way it goes. But I can control what Julia decided to do. Julia decided to do what she did, which was horrible, by the way. Horrible. And what you didn't see, we all speak on it. It was horrible. But, however, I got water thrown at me too, Carlos. I always tell people this. What I did for Guerdy is the exact same thing I would have want a friend to do for me. I've done a lot of healing on myself. I've learned to remove myself from situations that can potentially get worse. Now, however, other people could have thrown punches, whatever they choose to do, that's them. But me, what I did in that moment, I got up. Alexia, take Julia. Guerdy, calm down. I'm even speaking Creole to her. Calm down. Because when things like this happen right away, I'm thinking, I'm a thinker. I'm a Gemini. It's like, next step. First thing I'm thinking is, this is Marisol's wedding. Marisol is not gonna live. Alexia is the one putting the event together for Marisol. Alexia's not gonna live. Larsa has been friends with them for so long. She's not gonna live. Julia is now bestie with Alexia. No one's gonna live. Guerdy, I'm willing to live with you. Let's remove ourselves. Come on.
You told Guerdy, I'm willing to leave with you.
I grab her, babe. Let's go. I said it to Creole to her also. You seen it? You see the clip? Let's go. Calm down, babe. When I say calm down, not because she's aggressive, Not because she's screaming. It's calm down. Let's go. I got wet too. I could have go to hell with Julia. But in that moment, why make it worse when it's already the worst? That's how I think. Now, if anybody else think how they think, that's them. But that's how I think because Carlos, I was raised pretty much on the street. I've seen some fucked up. Somebody throw somebody at someone. Next minute, it's like you say something and then boom, you get nabbed. Now you're in the hospital. Now you're dead. So I've done the healing to learn to remove myself from situations like that. And if anybody else want to do otherwise, feel free to do it. But I did what I would want someone to do for me. Now, my thing is, even though I removed myself, you decided to stay. You stayed till everybody tossed the whole thing.
So I decided to separate the clip because I do want to talk about this situation. I know a lot of people felt like Kiki was wrong for leaving the event after Guerdy got the drink tossed on her. I was one of the people that said I would have did the same thing as Kiki. I would have left. Like I've already told y'all, like, hey, like, girl, they don't want us here. Let's go. I'll leave with you. If you choose to stay in a hostile environment because of whatever reason, that's on you. I've always been taught you make sure you're safe first, then make sure everybody else around you is safe. So I don't think it was wrong for Kiki to be like, girl, I'm out. And I understand that people feel as though she should have stayed, but I feel like Guerdy should have left. I told y'all that several times. If I was Guerdy, either I would have made a scene and became extremely hysterical, or I would have threw a drink on Julia, or I would have popped Julia in the face and then left. Either way, I wouldn't stay in an environment where nobody is respecting me. But that's just me. So I agree with Kiki with like, hey, yo, I offered to leave with her. She chose not to, so I'm going home.
Mind you, I was fine with Guerdy Carlos throughout the whole season. Even when episode 1 came out, we were talking. Episode 2 came out, we were at an event together for Netflix, taking photos, posting. Episode 3 came out, and I was like, okay, I saw it. I said, I feel like, let me call her to check on her because this type of things, when you have to relive it, it's not easy to have to rewatch yourself. I called her. She didn't pick up. She returned my call. Oh my God, hey babes, I was just calling to make sure that, I know how you have to watch the show again to relive it. Have you seen the episode? I'm so sorry this happened. She just went, I'll call you back. This was the last time I heard from Guerdy. That's when the threat started. That's when I'm being called racist also. All the Haitian people are on my right now. How dare you not helping this? How dare you not? But I'm like, wow. Yeah, so. Yep. And I'm not telling you this to feel sorry for me. It just,
No, listen.
It
You're
is what it
talking
is.
to somebody who is a producer of reality television, and you're talking to somebody who knows how that ecosystem works when it comes to social media. So you're no one's victim, and you're such a strong woman. I feel horrible that, look, what you said to me makes a lot of sense. That's the choice you made in the moment. You were there. We were not. Listen, you said it. People would have done things differently. What I think I'm just shocked at, because I didn't know this obviously, was the fact
Have you ever seen me aggressive? I'm always been the one, like, guys, like, unless you piss me off, like, I say what I need to say, and then I let it go.
Did Guerdy ever come to you after that moment happened in real time and say, I felt you didn't do this for me?
She did. And I told her, I said, look, I cannot believe you are even calling me a bad friend. And mind you, at that moment, Guerdy knew that she didn't know I was getting death threats, but she knew that I was getting like anxiety and depression was like at a high peak because of the that I was going through with families. So, like I said, what Julia did was unspeakable. But sometimes just because you don't speak about your battles, and this is how people mistreat people. Because just because you look happy, you're trying to be there for the person, and they just assume you have nothing going on. I was in my darkest moment, okay? I'm sure you probably saw the episodes. I was already going through that. None of the girls knew because I don't like to dump my on other people. But I did kind of tell Guerdy, even way before, girl, I don't know what's going on, but the anxiety, the depression is like, and I remember she was telling me about her, the heat thing she have, which I sympathize with her. What is it? You know, when you get the heat wave, like.
Oh, the menopause.
No, is it
Hot
menopause?
flashes?
Hot flashes.
Yeah.
And I remember she was telling me that too. I was like, I don't know, man, this is a lot, So we talk about that. I was going through my while all of that was happening.
In real time.
And I'm like, I just need to live. You don't want to live. I asked her, let's go. Because I was willing to live with her. After that whole incident, she didn't call me. I was like waiting on a call. And then I'm starting like guessing like, okay, maybe something else happened. Or maybe, because I'm like, I don't know. You're going to see like nothing happened the whole season with her and I. Actually, it was closer to her this season than any of the other girls that I was even closer to. And not until I saw a post that an interview that she did. And then on the interview, there was a comment that was made that she made, and somebody wrote it down and posted, said by Guerdy. And the thing said, that I tried to hold her hand and portray her as the angry black woman. I was like, what? I'm like, it's one thing you being called racist by the audience. They don't know. It's okay. But for you now to even take it to the next step by making it seem like I'm also an actual, isn't that what I mean? You're American. That's pretty much saying that I'm.
So you're saying Guerdy made a comment saying that during that
You want me
moment.
to read it to you? I have it.
Sure.
It's in my bag.
It's in your bag?
I'll show it to you.
Okay. So she made a comment about you holding her hand, and you were pretty much trying to make her seem like the angry black woman. And for you as a black woman, you just felt like, wow, it's one thing for the audience to think one thing about me,
But now you're pushing
but you
it.
know, you and I both know what this is.
Like, this is not funny. Do you know how hurtful it is to have Haitian people calling you non-Haitian when you're like the most Haitian person you know?
The Haitian community is upset with you.
Pretty much, a lot. You know, it's like, wow, because I've always been very Haitian. It's not a competition, but anyone who knows me know I stand up for my country. I'm all Haitian. Like, I will go to Haiti for breakfast and come back for dinner. And it's like, it's one thing for the audience, the fans to speculate whatever or think whatever they think. But for you to know where we at, and then you went on and made that comment, that's when I was like, okay, I see what's going on here.
You recently unfollowed Guerdy. Why?
I unfollowed her. And a lot of people are speculating that it was after the reunion. It was before the reunion. Okay. I think people find out after. It was before, and part of it was because of that comment. Because I'm like, okay, now I see you for who you are, because this was not the way to go about it. I didn't like that comment at all. Because if anyone know me, I'm not racist, and I don't want to be portrayed like that. And it's fucked up. It's fucked up. And I'm not here playing victim or anything. It's fucked up. Especially, I'm like, don't have any, what's the issue here? We know we got to throw shade. We all got to this and that, but what did I do to you to make you, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, to make you say something.
But sometimes, you know, and I decided to unfollow because I was like, sometimes you just need a break. You just don't want to, you just need to cut that cord for a second and breathe and regroup. So I need a break.
Guerdy responded and said, oh, I didn't know that. And I see that I'm not following you either. Did you block me?
Yes.
So you blocked Guerdy?
Yes. I told you, for me, it's either.
Listen, I love your honesty. You blocked her. You said, Kiki.
I block a lot of people too, like many people.
Yeah.
And I always tell people this, like, I don't normally unfollow people or block people. Not black people, block.
Black people, yeah.
But it takes a lot, like, for me to, like, get, because I'm always, like, the one, like, you know, of course, like I said, I can be tough. When someone says something to me, my comeback will always be like, but then I'm like, there you go. We're good now. We're good.
Yeah.
But once I feel like deep down, even if I had done something to you, was it really that heavy for you to call me a racist now? And I'm your own. Imagine I call you a racist right now. It's worse. It's one thing to call a white person racist, but it's another thing when you call your own black person.
So, like I said, I wish Kiki would have just said her piece about unfollowing and kept it on the interview she did with the local news channel. But this Carlos King interview did not do her any favors, especially with the fan base. There were a lot of negative comments, and even Guerdy responded to a few people's critique of the interview. So let's get into that. So someone said this: any thoughts on Kiki's podcast with Carlos King? So this must be on Guerdy's page. Guerdy responded by saying, let's think about her doing a press tour ahead of the reunion airing to get ahead of the real story. Nah, no comment. I'm very comfortable in the truth, not the spin. And by the way, the cameras don't lie. Then another person said, oh, look at Kiki's response. She didn't get up and leave. She stayed there and argued. Wow, funny how she expected Guerdy to leave. And then Guerdy goes, clock it. And then she does the, hand emoji. Then you have another person saying for Guerdy to keep quiet and let Kiki, aka Bose, drown. And Guerdy responded by saying, can't help it. Not a bad trait, but that's why people take my kindness for weakness. Working on it, trust me. And then another person said, oh, look at Guerdy sticking up for Kiki in real time, like a real sister. See, this is how it's done. And then Guerdy responded with another emoji. And then the last one I saw was someone saying this: at Kiki Bartha, but you said at Guerdy Design should walk away. Look at you arguing and Guerdy defending you. Learn from this. And then Guerdy left a heart emoji. So I already told y'all I didn't think Kiki was wrong for leaving Guerdy in that moment. She asked Guerdy to come with her. Guerdy chose to stay, and Kiki chose to leave a situation where she felt unwelcome. I feel like both ladies made a choice that they felt was best for them, so I'm not mad at either one. So when it comes to Kiki and Guerdy and this falling out, honestly, I see both sides. And the reason why I say that is, let's stick with Kiki and then feed our way into Guerdy. I can understand Kiki unfollowing and blocking Guerdy because she's been facing a lot of backlash, okay? From her own community, the Haitian community, as well as fans of the show. And that has to be a lot. Now, I have seen people have valid critiques of Kiki's behavior, but then I've also seen people just be downright like malicious and nasty and be xenophobic, colorist, and anti-black. Even though I feel like Kiki and Guerdy are like damn near the same color, but I've seen some people say some things, okay? So I can understand her feeling some type of way of being like, girl, I've already told you what I'm dealing with when it comes to my family. And I told you about me dealing with anxiety and things of that nature. And instead of you like being there for me or letting fans know that, no, I have been a good friend to you, I have been there for you, you're liking disparaging comments about me and you're fueling the fire. So of course I don't want to be friends with you. Of course I'm gonna block you. You know, especially if Kiki feels like she has been a genuine friend to Guerdy. So I can understand Kiki's point of view, but then I also understand Guerdy's point of view where it's like, well, girl, I told you, because Kiki did admit in the Carlos King interview that when he asked her, did you call her? Did y'all have a conversation? You said, yes, you had a conversation with her. And she did tell you that she felt some type of way about your behavior throughout the season. And instead of just listening to it and being like, you know what, my bad, bro. Like, I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong. And I felt like I was being a good friend to you. It seems like you pretty much doubled down and basically was like, well, girl, I'm going through stuff too. Like, you already know what I'm going through. So if I was Guerdy, I would take a step back from you. Now, I don't know if I would be liking disparaging comments about you or shady comments about you, especially if I cared about you. But I can also understand why she would be doing that. Like, I'm not going to fault her too much. And then if it came down to the reunion and she told you about yourself and you still didn't receive it, then it is what it is. Honestly, I would hope that they would find a way to work it out because I don't think they're going to get rid of anybody for next season. I feel like we won't have a cast shakeup until possibly season 9, but I would hate for them to be arguing next season. Maybe they can come together before they start filming, because I think they're supposed to start filming season 8 in January and have a serious conversation about how they both feel like one didn't show up for the other. But I don't really want to see them fighting next season, okay? I do wish we could have nuanced conversations about this situation, but I feel like we're already heading into the territory that people were heading in with Garcelle and Bose, because I have seen some really nasty things about both ladies, and it's like, y'all, it's a reality show. Yes, some things may trigger you, but you should not be nasty towards either party in this situation, okay? And honestly, the real villain is Julia. So give her all that nasty work instead of Guerdy or Kiki. But that's all I got for you guys today. As always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in them comments below and subscribe and like the video. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.